Hi, I'm Kavya.
Hi, I'm Khushi.
Hi, I'm Malvika.
Welcome to TeensTalk. For our new viewers, TeensTalk is an initiative I started to provide teens with a platform to express their perspective and views on issues that they're passionate about. Our discussion today is based on women entrepreneurs.
Women entrepreneur are those women who think of business enterprise, initiate it, organize and combine factors of production, operate the enterprise, and undertake risk and handle economic uncertainty. Gradually but steadily, women entrepreneurs have emerged successful, while earning many award of honors for themselves. For example, Oprah Winfrey, an American entrepreneur, have received the Presidential Award for a Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2013 for her outstanding work in the field of entertainment and social impact. Today, we have Jim Bouman with us for more discussion on this topic.
So, thank you first of all for inviting me and to talk about this topic. For the listeners, my name is Jim Bouman. I'm a performance coach and I help both young people as well as young startups, usually businesses that are 1 or 2 years old or people that simply have an idea and want to turn it into a business.
All right, great. So my first question to you will be, the role of women in our society has changed drastically in the past few decades and for the better. Women are now occupying the corporate positions that were previously regarded as masculine and are outpacing their male counterparts in some areas. Why do you think we need more representation of women entrepreneurs in the workforce?
That's a very beautiful introduction and quite a complicated topic. For the people who don't know me, I am originally from the Netherlands and I'm currently living in Japan, which is quite a big contradiction. The Netherlands has always been very feminist in a way. Women are often regarded more highly than men, which is quite different from how it is here in Japan or in most parts of Asia. So in a way, I'm quite spoiled and maybe not the perfect candidate to ask. But to answer your question, whatever nationality or whichever country you're from, whatever your nationality is, your background, your religion, whether you're man or woman, it ultimately doesn't matter. Everybody's equal. And when you think about entrepreneurship or business or politics, what we all want in this world is to create a better world, to be able to solve more problems, to be able to help more people, and that everybody has a prosperous, happy, and healthy lifestyle. So to make that a reality, to me, it just makes sense that whether you're a man or a woman, the people that are most capable and most suitable for a certain position are the ones in that position. Of course, for women, sometimes it's more difficult because women give birth, which is something that guys cannot do, biologically speaking. So definitely if women want to have a child, then for a certain period of time, they're not able to fulfill a certain role. But I think it's up to society and organizations to cope with that and to make space available even for women before or after pregnancy. So in a nutshell, as long as you have the skills, it doesn't really matter who you are or what you're like, I feel.
Great, thank you.
So, sir, my question to you is that regardless of the change in time, why women are still struggling for opening up their own business?
Your question is why? Or how do we combat
So
this?
how can we overcome this?
Okay. I think you're dealing with both internal and external factors. The internal part refers to women themselves. I think a lot of women not only undervalue themselves, but also set very low standards or have low expectations of themselves. That might have to do with how society views them or what people tell them. And as a result, they start putting themselves lower and lower. But that's one thing that we have to work toward, that there are more role models for women, that the people who are successful or wealthy or very capable in a certain position have more spotlight, so that women can also see that they are capable of achieving similar things to men or whichever position they desire to be in. Then for the external factors, a lot of it has to do with society. Like I mentioned, if you go to the Netherlands or the Nordic countries in Europe, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, you will see vastly different societal norms and standards compared to, for instance, India or Japan or even the US, if we take another Western country. For those, unfortunately, it requires so many changes on a societal level that there's not a quick fix. But what I would say is that people who have funds to invest in people, but who are unsure whether a woman is capable or not, should simply interact with more women so that you can evaluate not just which men would be capable of leading a certain entrepreneurial endeavor or certain business, but that you can also evaluate women, which ones would be very likely to succeed. So that in the end, what you're evaluating is the capabilities of the person rather than is the person a man or a woman. Unfortunately, no easy answer.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So my question to you will be that regardless of the change in time, which has led to over 252 million entrepreneurs around the world, women are still struggling to overcome the challenges that they face regularly, like lack of funding, support, confidence, acceptance. And I wanted to ask you, why do you think they are still struggling with establishing a position in the business world and society? And one more thing is that India used to be under the clutches of the Britishers, and since the ancient times, women were considered weak in earning money and so on. So why are they still considered such, and why are they still not getting enough encouragement and motivation?
At the end, you're actually asking two different kinds of questions. What I mean by that is the encouragement is something that comes from the outside, while how can women overcome it? A lot of that has to do with the internal factors. I touched upon it a little bit in the previous answer, but in a nutshell, I don't look only at women, but I also look at other minorities, whether it's people in developing countries compared to developed countries, or whether it's ethnicities or races that are a minority in a specific country. Whenever you're the minority, it's very common to think you're not worth it, or you're not as capable as the majority. Honestly, maybe I have an easy lifestyle because I'm white, I'm a guy, I'm originally from the Netherlands, it's a developed country, I have a good education, so maybe I'm spoiled in that regard. But personally, I truly believe that it has to come from inside first. The external world is something that you cannot easily control or change, but the internal world is something that you quite easily can change. Of course, everybody's family or everybody's neighborhood is different, and if you get told for 15 or 20 years that you're weaker, you're lower, you're slower, you're not as intelligent, you're not as capable as your male peers or other kinds of peers, of course that will affect you, and mentally you might not be as strong as other people. But these days, especially with the internet, rather than watching TV where you only see men on television, you can go to YouTube, and if you can speak English, the entire world is available to you. But even if you cannot, even if you can only speak a single language that's not English, you can still find so much information on Google, on YouTube. I try to stay away from social media because it kind of makes it a bubble. The things that you like or dislike will just keep popping up rather than the things that can give you a different perspective. But with Google or YouTube, you can easily search for the things that you want. Back 20, 30, 40 years ago, we only had a library. We would have to go to the library to get a book that might give us a different perspective. But these days, as long as you've got this, you can search for anything you want. And what is even more beautiful about this is not so much the different perspectives. Even if you see other people and you think because they're in a different country, because they're in a different relationship, because they're in a different environment, they can succeed. But for me, it doesn't change anything. But the internet or telephones or computers, they give you access to any knowledge or any skill that you would want. And all it requires is that you put in the effort and time to learn those skills. Even if you don't have confidence in yourself, if you have an idea of what you would like to be, to have, or to do in the future, you can become whatever you have in mind. I will finish it off by saying, again, the external world, the people around you, the people you hang out with, of course they affect you to what extent you believe you can actually do it. To that I will say, if the people around you don't encourage you, I would advise finding other people that you spend the majority of your time with. I really care about my family and I love them, and they love me too, and they support me, and I'm lucky in that way. Some people don't have a family that support them. I'm not saying you should cut all ties with your family or with your friends, but you can definitely change how you spend your time and who you spend most of your time with. You can still love the people that you're hanging out with now, but if they don't encourage you, then find other people. For the listeners and for you three, I think you know by now that I don't really care about whether you're a man, a woman, or what your background is. So if all you have to do to find somebody to encourage you is to find a person like me, whether it's me or somebody else. But they're definitely out there, and they're so easily found as long as you have this. And even if you don't have access to the internet in the very poor or rural areas, I think you can always find a way to travel, even if it's just 10 kilometers or whichever. I don't know if you use kilometers in India or not, but you can use, but even if you just travel for half an hour or an hour, you can find new people that you haven't met before. And you can keep searching until you find the people, the resources, the intel, the knowledge you need to change your own life.
And the reason why I selected you was that you knew a lot about business already, and I could have chosen a female figure, but I approached you and you even asked why I didn't choose a female figure or a woman to come in this meeting. The reason, as I told you, was that if a woman listens or gets to hear these encouragement and motivation from a male figure or a man, then she is more encouraged. And any platform, whenever you go to YouTube or any or any news channel, you'll see a plethora of women are there. They have their own businesses and they are encouraging women to do more. But there are quite a few men who want women to develop. So getting encouragement from the male counterpart for a female is very important.
I understand that. I remember that I asked you that question and you gave me that answer, and it just convinced me immediately. So you did very well. And all three of you, I don't know 100% what you three are trying to do. I caught it from the introduction. I just thought it's really a wonderful initiative. And if I may ask, how old are all of you?
I'm
16, 17.
Yeah, we're all 16.
Damn. That's really amazing. 16 years old. Thinking back to my own I graduated high school at 18, which is normal in the Netherlands, and then I went to university. And when I think about me being 16, just a high school student playing soccer, and only once I became 18, I started thinking about business, and when I was 20, I went to Japan for the first time. Damn, 16 and you're already doing all this. No, that's really, really impressive. How long have you three been doing this?
A few months.
So we started it. Yes, sir. We started it in July.
6 months.
I can tell all three of you are so excited to talk at the same time. But what I understood was that it's been a few months.
Yeah.
And what do you want this to turn into, or where do you want to grow this to?
We just want it to not stop. We just want it to continue for as long as we can, for as long as we're teens. And then we'd like to involve other people as well. So because right now
So-
it's a hard time
go
for
ahead.
us. We have our exams coming up every other day, so it's not the best time for us to, grow so much. But I think we'll do that with time.
Are you so you graduate at 16 or
Well, it depends.
No,
It's
it's not an age limit. Yeah.
no.
There is no age limit. We can graduate at 16, 17. It depends.
Some people graduate at 18. I will be graduating at 17. I think all three of us will be graduating at 17.
At 17.
and all three of you are planning to go to university?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm thinking if you call it TeensTalk and you're only teens for let's say 3 more years, what are you going to do in 4 years then? You're going to rebrand or you're going to pass it on to your juniors?
I think we're going to pass it on. I
Okay.
like
Yes,
that. I
sir.
like this to grow.
And right now
So
you're
the
posting
basic
this on
idea is not
podcasts or YouTube?
the basic idea is not like only we three doing it. We do not want like only Kavya, Khushi, and Malvika are the faces of the TeensTalk. Since the name is TeensTalk and not Kavya, Khushi, and Malvika Talk, we want every teen, every teen who is interested to be involved in this, in this procedure, and like in this initiative, we want more and more teens to join us when they understand, the true essence of why we are doing this.
As long as you yourself don't give up and you continue to do it, continue to improve, you will get wherever you want to be. What is important for yourself is to know where you want to go. And it can change in the future because of, I don't know, maybe you get married, maybe you get children, maybe you move to another country, like so many reasons. It can change, and that's totally fine too. You don't have to get stuck. But just do the things that give you energy, that make you happy. Don't listen to the other people that are naysayers, that say no, like this is not gonna work. If you feel it's right, you continue. And there will be a moment where it all changes and all of a sudden these people come to you as if like bees or bears attracted to honey, They want to be part of what you've done. That's all I wanted to say. Actually, one more
Thank you,
thing.
sir.
This is not advice, but if there's anything I can help with, if there's any questions you have, anything you want to do follow-ups or so, just send me a message and we'll work it out. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.